What's up, y'all? It's Nurse Blatant, real and registered, coming from New York City with all the emotions, all the stories, all the comedy. From New York City, I'm here to give it to you, baby. So, this whole channel, first I was just like, oh, trying to nitpick this and that, and I'm gonna be just like Nike. I'm just gonna do it. So, I've been a nurse 13 years. No, I'm lying. I've been a nurse 18 years, but 13 of those years I've been a registered nurse. The other 5 was a licensed practical nurse, okay? So I've worked in the emergency room and the ICU between those 13 years, so I have all the craziness, all the tears, all the laughter, everything you can think of. And this is not just for nursing students, not just for nurses. This is for everybody. Anybody can be in the hospital. Anybody can find things inspirational. Anybody can find things funny. So again, bear with me. We're gonna have fun on this channel. So I want y'all to know I will be here every week with something about nursing, whatever it is, tips, stories, reactions, something. I'm here for you. So let's get started with talking about some things about nursing. A lot of people don't know that nurses, we are it. I am telling you, outside, we are like the structure of everything. So know your allies when you go to the hospital, or if your family goes to the hospital. We have all kind of jobs. We are not only a nurse, we are dietary, we are poop masters, we are advocates, everything, educators, everything you can think of, because when we have a patient assigned to us, you are our patient. Sounds kind of creepy. You're mine. I'm gonna make sure you're good. So I advocate for you. So that's one of the things nurses do. So know your allies when you go to the hospital, because nurses will get it done. You understand? Against anybody. We advocate for our patient against the other family members, against doctors, against anything. It doesn't matter. Like, our patient, or rather my patient's needs are being expressed, and I need to know how to get them met. So let's figure it out together. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I come into a shift, and I'm getting my report. I'm cleaning my station. I go introduce myself so there's no lapse in, seeing the nurse, because, toward the end of the morning shift, they're trying to get things done. And when I come in, I'm trying to get myself prepared for the shift. So, but I don't want patients to lapse too long without seeing a nurse, right? So I go in, I introduce myself. I have this patient, 95 years old, on comfort care. Now, comfort care means the monitor settings are set where there's not alarming. You can just look at the numbers. And it's actually a different color than the other cardiac monitors, so people know that it's a comfort care, as far as the staff, I mean. So, yeah, he's on comfort care. We don't want everyone to get all anxious with all the ding, ding, ding and the bells and alarms. We know he's dying, and that's what the family wants. Now, my report was the family doesn't want anything done. Okay, but he's already intubated, which means he has a tube down into his lungs that's breathing for him. But his heart is working on his own. Now, let's clarify this. He's on 3 blood pressure medications. Now, these blood pressure medications, we call them presses, where basically it's pressing on your vessels to give you a number, to give you a blood pressure. Makes sense? Okay. So we are giving this man blood pressure medication. Now, when you get this blood pressure medication, you can't even put it through like an IV in your arm, because it's so toxic. It can like really debilitate your extremities. Like, there's people, it's so strong. People's arms have become purple. My guy, his arms were purple. And it doesn't even have to be infusing in the arm. It's just the fact that the vessels are so tight that the nerve endings, feet, arms, so even if he was alive, amputations. You understand? So now, when you're on one of these medications and you're maxed out, it's not looking good. Maxed out on 2, usually don't come back from that. But we try to have hope. 3, it usually means they're dying. That's what it usually means. Yeah. And this third one was epinephrine. Anyone who knows about allergies and stuff, we give epinephrine, bee stings, asthma. It's adrenaline. It gets you pumping, gets you going, all right? And it decreases inflammation. But on the other end, it gets your heart working. This man's heart rate was 17. Well, let's start from the beginning. I walked into the room, and as an ER nurse, I've become very observant with things. Real, even like if you're a mom, you can walk in and peep the whole situation real quick. So I walked into the room and peeped the whole thing. Everybody's destroyed. There's kids, grandkids, grandkids at the bedside. 95-year-old male. I'm looking around at everything. Kind of make it quick because I want to get out their way. They're trying to spend their last moments with the last moments of their family member together. No problem. But I do need to go in and take a look. I'm not going to flip the man. I'm not going to look at his skin. Skin's the least of his issues. Least of his issues. If I turn him, he might die. You know what I mean? Like, some things have to be improvised. That's for the nursing students. You go accordingly, okay? But I did my just general assessment. Okay, pulse is weak. I'm looking at the number 17. Whose heart beats at 17? Because normal is 60. Okay, but he also has those 3 medications that's giving him extra adrenaline to make that friggin' number, and it's only 17. So now I'm just like, okay, what are we doing here? The blood pressure is, y'all ready? 30/15. Now you tell me what's that perfusing. You know what? Don't even tell me because it's not perfusing anything. Nothing at all. Normal blood pressure is 90/60, and that's low normal. You understand? So this man's not even getting perfusion. We're tightening his vessels and his arms are purple. His eyes had this goo that had grew over it because he was staring at the ceiling, ready to go. Actually, he was gone. So what got me pissed as the advocator, because I wasn't advocating for the man. Well, I was. But not really, because he was dead. I don't, if the doctors were at the bedside, they would have known the man was dead. And the only reason why his heart was quivering was because we was giving him all the medication. The man was dead. Your man was in heaven, he had to be on like his second glass of wine with Jesus. Done, over, dead. So now I'm pissed because I'm like, my report was that the family didn't want anything done. Do they know what we're doing? Because we're actually keeping that 17 up there as a heartbeat and giving them hope. They are watching a corpse. This is ridiculous. So I need to make sure the family, who now I'm advocating for, because you have to understand, the patient is the patient. The family is also the patient. You have to take care of your patient holistically, their mental, their social, their financial. Of course, you can refer them to social work. You can't do everything. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, everything has to be patched up, and their family is part of them. So if the family's not good, then I'm not taking care of my patient completely. You understand what I mean? Unless it's like, got some weird families that kind of contrast. That's a different story. We'll get to those stories. So now I'm like, okay, I'm touching him. So the goo over his eye, the purple arms, and when I tell you, when I touched him and so cold and hard, I just walked out the room. I couldn't even do it. I said, I'll be right back. Hey, doc. Hey. Knock, knock, knock. Ooh. Hey, Nurse Blatant here. Just came in. Who's the doctor for room 1? Oh, it's you today. Hi, how you doing, doc? Can somebody come give this family some kind of comfort? Because that man's dead. He has a heartbeat. Yep. 17. And he's on triple presses. One of them epinephrine. My report was that the family didn't want anything done. So can I at least tell them about the epinephrine, what we're doing? We're pushing with adrenaline. And this is what's giving him the number. Because this charade can last for a whole nother day. And I'm not with it. Unless the family's with it, I'm not with it. So I'm going to need to explain to them what we're doing, and if they're not comfortable with that, then I'm going to turn off the epi. Is that okay with you, doc? The doctor looked at me and said, sometimes I can't even believe the things that come out of people's mouth. But I get it, because that's a part of the care. You want them to die with dignity, which was what I was advocating for, because this wasn't dignity. The man done had great-great-grandkids, 95 years. Why would you let this family remember him in the last couple of months or the last couple of weeks that would override the 95 years that he's lived? Because that's what sticks in your mind. You watching this man who done raised you, raised your kids, raised generations, looking like a walking dead. Well, he wasn't walking, but you know what I mean. Lying dead, whatever, dead. You don't want that to stick in your mind. Let them remember the 94 and a half years before he was sick. Can we do that? Can we? And if they want to watch it, hey, by all means, knock yourself out. But I need them to understand, as my patients, family members, what's really going on. Doctor said, okay, you're right. But let's give him 2 of morphine so he can go peacefully. Go where? He's not here to go anywhere. What do you mean peacefully? He's probably at the club in heaven. I really don't know what to tell you, but I'm not giving morphine to a corpse. He's gone. And I'm going to go talk to the family. I go walk into the family. The resident comes behind me. I explain to them. And they was like, oh, no, can you turn it off? Right on the spot. Can you turn it off? I turned it off. And just that one, not even all 3, just the epinephrine, just the adrenaline. The rest give you a little push, but the adrenaline is like extra. Read all about it. So I turned it off, and there goes the flat line. Boop. So I'm like, okay, thank you. About time this man can end the charades. You understand? Be remembered for who he was. Let the family continue with their grieving process, or even like continue with their lives. They're in the hospital every day watching a corpse. Unacceptable. So, after it all, the family, giving me hugs and everything and crying, but they looked more at peace knowing that he was gone and in peace, and then, they can wrap up his life. So I say that to say that everything is advocating for nurses, whether it's medication, whether it's patient status, whether it's their condition, or whether it's the family. Nursing, real and registered. Your nurse Blatant here with you. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all next time.